Now, welcome to my YouTube channel again. In this tutorial, I'm teaching you about the question on the board, which I got in one of the my inbox. Now, the question reads, in a race of 100 meters, we have the three individuals racing, John, James, and David. So, the question is, in a race of 100 meters, John beats James by 10 meters and beats David by 13 meters. By how much will James beat David in a race of 120 meters, assuming all run at a constant speed throughout? So we have someone who covers a total of 100 meters. Another individual covers 10 meters less than the person who has covered the total distance. Another individual covers 13 meters less. Now, we have the three individuals. We can put them on the board. That is John, James, and David. Now, if John covers a total distance of 100 meters, James, we're being told that John defeats James by 10 meters. So James covers a distance of 100 meters with less than 10 meters minus 10 meters. This one gives you 90 meters. At the same time, David covers a distance of 13 meters less than the distance covered by John. So in this case, David is 100 minus 13. This one gives you 87 meters. They're covering those distance. John, James, and David are covering the given distance at the equal time interval. At the same time, means that they're all spending the same time to cover the same distance, the given distance. Now, we are going to assume now the time taken by the three, each of the marathoners, the time taken by them, let us assume to be a known number which can be in form of a letter T. So let the time taken by John, James, and David be T. So this helps us to find the speed of each individual. Now, if the three individuals run with the speed of T, takes the time of T to run the given distance. Now, let time taken be T. Now, if each individual takes T seconds to run this given distance, now John's speed for John, the speed for John will be distance covered by John over the time T. This is the same as 100 over T. So this is John's speed, which is in meters per second. Then again we find James' speed because they are all spending time T. So for James covers a distance of 90 meters over the time T. So in this case, the time is T, which is 90 over T meters per second. Then the same thing we're going to do for David. So David covers a distance of 87 meters in T seconds, so which is 87 over T meters per second. Now let us continue the question. The question asks us, by how much will James beat David in a race of 120 meters? So we want to concentrate on two individuals only, that is James and David. So the time taken for James to run a race of 120 meters with a given speed. So for James, now what find the time taken for James to run a race of 120 meters with a given speed of 90 over T meters per second. So that time is the one which will help us to find the distance covered by David with the same time taken by James to complete the same distance. Now, the time is equal to the distance over the speed. This is the same as the distance here is 120 meters over the speed. that is over, the speed for James is 90 over t meters per second. So this is equivalent to 120 multiplied by the reciprocal of 90 over t, that is t over 90. And this one gives you 4t over 3 seconds. So James spent 40 over 3 seconds to finish a race of 120 meters with the same speed that he used to complete the first race. Now, using this time taken by James, we're going to see how much distance would have been traveled by David with the given time in a race of 120 meters. Now, for the race of 120 meters, the time taken for David. Now, David, the time is equivalent to distance over speed. And this time taken by David is the same as the time taken by James, because we want to know how far would have David traveled within 4 over 3t seconds. So the time here is 4 over 3t is equal to the distance. The distance traveled by David, we don't know, over the speed of David was 87 over t meters per second. This one is in second. Now to get the distance traveled by David in this given time, you multiply every side by the 87 over t multiplied by 87 over t. So this cancels this one. So the distance covered is equal to 87 over t. You multiply by 4 over 3t. So this gives you by t1 by t1. So by 3, 1 by 3 is 29. So this one gives you 116 meters. Now, in a marathon of 120 meters, by the time James finishes the marathon of 120 meters, David would have traveled a distance of 116 meters. Now, question is, determine by how much will James beat David in a race of 120 meters? By how much? So he's going to defeat David in a race of 120 meters by finding the distance covered by James, which is 120. You subtract the distance covered by David. So the answer is 120 minus 116. So he's going to defeat David by 4 meters. Thank you.